we celebrate Fiesta Tigres as the team honors the past and present Tigers of Latin heritage. The music, the clothes, the customs have taken over Comerica Park on this special evening, which includes an American League showdown between the Cleveland Indians and your Detroit Tigers. A nice night for baseball here in the Motor City. Game 2 of this 3-game series featuring the Tigers and the Indians. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us for Tigers Baseball. Game 2 of the series, Fiesta Tigres night here at the ballpark. We've got the band playing behind us. And, Rod, hopefully another Tigers win here tonight. Last night, it was a Venezuelan, Armando Galarraga, who was outstanding in Game 1. Tonight, we focus on another Venezuelan. That would be Miguel Cabrera, having an outstanding year.
Well, you can't talk about Fiesta Tigres unless you're talking about the big fellow from Venezuela, and that would be Miguel Cabrera. As we speak, he's in the MVP conversation. And one of the things about Cabrera that's most impressive, and there's a lot of things that's impressive about him, is the fact that he drives the ball to right field with the kind of authority that he drives the ball to right field with. 4 of his last 5 home runs have gone to right field, 3 in Yankee Stadium, 1 at U.S. Cellular Field. He is very, very dominant. As a matter of fact, Jim Leland said before the game today, he's a bona fide superstar and one of the best in the game. And when you get a chance to look at the direction of home runs he's hit, 10 of his home runs, partner, have gone to right field. So that kind of validates his power.
Hopefully a big night tonight for Miguel Cabrera and the rest of the Tigers. Fiesta Tigres night here at the ballpark. Stay with us, Indians and the Tigers just moments away. In the meantime, we send it back to the Call Sam Studios with more on our coverage. Here's Trevor Thompson. Bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get yourself a free small order of curly fries. Back here at the ballpark as we check out the starting lineup here for the Cleveland Indians, presented by Honda Bloomfield. Trevor Crowe leads an outfield play in center field, followed by Asdrubal Cabrera. Shin-Soo Choo is in right field. Travis Hafner is the designated hitter. Good numbers since the All-Star break. Jason Nix at third. Shelley Duncan in left. Your bottom three, Laporta, Donald, and Jimenez. Meanwhile, Max Scherzer's scouting report is brought to you tonight by Ace Hardware.
Well, Max owns it here at Comerica Park to the tune of 4-1 with an earned run average at 1.26 in his last 6 starts. And I asked Rick Knapp before the game today, what's the key? He said it's been the slider. Now, he has thrown that slider with conviction. He's located it very well, and therefore it's been a legitimate out pitch for him. And one thing Jim Leyland said, he'd like to extend the starts of Scherzer to maybe 7-8 innings on occasion here before the season's over.
All right, here we go as Trevor Crowe leads it off for the Indians. Tigers won the opener last night in shutout fashion. It is much cooler here this evening, 71 degrees. Had some rain flow through the area, but it looks like we should be good for the rest of the night. Crowe is batting .250. He's behind in the count 0-2.
Indians have been shut out 10 times this year, which is the most in the American League.
Yikes. That's a lot of shutouts.
Yes, it is.
Here's the 0-2. Lifted back out of play. And this was an Indians team, as we talked about, coming into this series that had put up a lot of hits in the previous 2 games for Maniac.
30 of those to be exact.
A little bit too much Galarraga last night, who was outstanding again against the Indians.
Boy, wasn't he, though.
Crowe, Cabrera, and Chu here in the first inning for the Tribe. And Scherzer misses with the fastball 1-2. Lights are on here at the ballpark. A little bit cloudy and hazy and overcast, but a comfortable night temperature wise nonetheless. Here's the 1-2 offering. Missed it just a tad low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Crowe was 0 for 4 in last night's opener. He's been struggling. He was recalled in May, but in his last 15 games he's hitting at just a 200 clip. 2-2 is fouled back. Trevor with 30 RBIs this year, batting in the leadoff slot. Of course, the Indians are without and have been without Grady Sizemore. They've had a ton of injuries as well this year. Carlos Santana, their fine young catching prospect, is out. Again, the 2-2. It's whistled foul down the first base line.
Already Trevor Crowe giving Manny Acton just what you'd like to see out of your leadoff hitter. And he has already seen 7 pitches from Scherzer. That also bodes well for the number 2 guy. That would be Cabrera.
So Scherzer trying to put away Crowe. And another foul. Two and 2, the count stays on Trevor Crowe. Indians come in tonight at 50 and 72. The Tigers at 59 and 63. Pop up back at third, and Inge gets there for the out, and that's how we begin this one tonight.
Let's take a look at the rest of the Tigers defensively. It's always presented by Beaumont Hospitals. Rayburn back out in the outfield again today. Jackson in center. Brennan Bosch in right. Peralta, he's a shortstop. Rhymes up the middle at second. Don Kelly spelling the big fella today at first. The big fella is the DH. And Alex Avila is behind the dish, putting down the signs for Max Scherzer.
Cabrera DHing for just the 2nd time this year. Kelly is at his spot at first base, so that's how often you get Miguel Cabrera not playing first base. It's not very often at all, just the 2nd time this year.
Well, it's almost like a day off for Cabrera, so to speak, other than the fact that he's got to go to the plate 4 times today.
That's a fair ball just inside the bag. Kelly handles it nicely, and Scherzer covers, and there are 2 gone.
You know, my last pitching report on Max Scherzer was they'd like to extend him a little bit more in games, but I was talking to Rick Knapp before the game. It's such a fine line when you're trying to get a power pitcher to pitch to contact early in counts. That's not what they do. They might back off a little bit trying to get contact, then they start to give up hits. So it's just something that's just going to have to evolve as his career evolves.
It truly is a catch-22. Scherzer is looking for a victory here tonight, and what more can you say about what he's done since the All-Star break? Max, a chance to get back up to 500 at 9-9 with a win.
His fastball has been explosive. He's had an outstanding slider, a couple different changeups. He'll need that good changeup to Sin-Soo Choo today. As a matter of fact, that last pitch was a changeup, kind of fading down and away from the left-hander. He's the one guy that you really have to stay away from in this lineup, especially when there's traffic on the base paths.
The 0-2. Checked it. Did he go? He did not, says Brian Gorman.
Good pitch. Gerald Laird was asking for the fastball up, and Scherzer threw it exactly where Laird wanted it, and Chu barely held up.
Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Indians coming in have lost 9 of their last 12 games. And Manny Acta, in fact, had a team meeting when they were in Kansas City just prior to getting here. Little chopper hit slowly towards second. Will Rhymes. So he bobbled it. And Chu is aboard. And Rhymes has been steady Eddie down there at second base for the most part.
Not a whole lot you can say about that one. Just hit off the heel of the glove.
E4, first error of the game. That's going to bring up Travis Hafner. Hafner at 268 was hitless in last night's opener, 0 for 3. Waves and misses 0-1.
Chu does run. He's got 14 steals. He's been caught 4 times. As a matter of fact, he'll steal you 20 bases every year, but I don't know if you want to run here with the big fella standing in the batter's box. We'll see how Manny Acta wants to play.
And now it's 0-2. Talking about that meeting that Manny had with his team in Kansas City, he was just reminding them, he wasn't necessarily upset with the way they were playing the game, but just reminding him that yes, we're not going to the playoffs this year, and he has so many young players in his lineup that this is the time of the season that you just have to learn to grind through games and continue to play as hard as you can. As they look forward to the future, he said, we're not going to be rebuilding every single season from here on out. So we have to learn to win and play as hard as we can through 162 games.
I know some managers in the situation that Cleveland's in right now. I believe their record was, what, 50-72?
Correct.
What they do is they pick other teams in baseball that have similar records or guys they're trying to catch, and they kind of form their own division. And then you start to have something to play for. I mean, you're trying to catch that team that, let's say, that's 5 games ahead of you. I mean, because you're not going to catch the Minnesota Twins. It doesn't matter whether it's a National League team, an American League team. It really doesn't matter. You just kind of form your own division, and you try to get guys to play for a goal, which is trying to catch that team that's at the top.
Some incremental improvement. 0-2. And the runner goes. It's outside. Here comes the throw. It's not in time.
He had no shots.
Still on base for Chu. That's his 15th.
He got a great jump. And a lot of times when the base runner gets this type of jump, the catcher really just rushes. You can see Avila, who's been so accurate this year, just kind of opens up with that front shoulder. And when that front shoulder opens up, usually you see the balls thrown to the second base side of second base.
Chu has number 15. He swiped 21 last year. Here's the 1-2. Driven to right field on a line. Bosch will not handle it. This will get a run in. Brennan came in on his knees trying to make a basket catch and could not make the play, and Cleveland has a 1-0 lead.
I guess you could say that the Cleveland Indians have been given their run here in the very first inning. And Brennan comes in for the ball, and I don't know exactly what happened, but it's probably a play that Brennan will tell you he should have made.
I don't believe he ever even got glove on.
I mean, I don't want to make excuses for him, but every now and then balls like that do get caught in the lights.
E9.
Apparently the scorekeeper didn't feel that way.
Well, here's the other thing. After Chu stole the base, you know, sometimes I guess you could think about pitching around Hafner.
I think what happened there was they already had 2 strikes on him, and Scherzer probably felt like he can get him out, but he didn't make the necessary pitch to do that. But that's a great point and great observation on your part. There was a base open, and Hafner has been one of their hottest hitters.
Now, had the count been maybe 2-1,
you walk.
You probably walk.
Pitch around.
0-2 on Nix.
Nix is a dead pull hitter. I mean, dead pull hitter. So you just want to stay away from him And if you stay away from him, you can get some swings and misses.
Got him, strike three. Scherzer records the strikeout, the victim of some bad luck, an unearned run here in the first inning. We'll go to the bottom of the first. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Second base, Ryan Rayburn is hitting third tonight, followed by Miguel Cabrera, the DH. Brendan Bosch in right, Johnny Peralta, Brandon Inge, Alex Avila, and Don Kelly round out the Tigers' starting lineup. The Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Josh Tomlin. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Last year, he won 14 games in Double-A, and he was dominant in Triple-A this year before he was called up. He had the second best earned run average in the American League, and he's somewhat of a diamond in the rough. He was drafted in the 19th round. 580 players were drafted before Tomlin, but yet he finds himself in the big leagues, and they really haven't scored a whole lot of runs for him. He's pitched better than his numbers indicate.
The 0-1 to Jackson is a strike, 0-2.
Not overpowering. Touch and feel with his fastball. He works at the bottom of the strike zone. Slow breaking ball. A little bit of a changeup. Apparently he has a really nice feel for pitching.
Hammer to the air to right field. Chu is on the run, not going to get it. Up against the wall, it's extra bases. Jackson may be thinking of three, and he's not. He's going to pull in with a double.
He's amazing. He really is.
141 hits now this year.
And an overwhelming majority of his hits this year have gone the opposite way. That's that little hanging breaking ball that Tomlin doesn't quite get down. He leaves it up in an area where Jackson's able to get to it, and he hits his 27th double the year.
And so Jackson has his fourth hit in the series, and now Rhymes will try and get him over to third.
The same situation in last night's game. Real early in the game, Rhymes was up there in a sacrifice bunting situation, and he got a base hit out of it.
Pulls this one down the first base line, and he'll be tagged out. So the runner advances.
And just to back up that point on Jackson and his directions of hits this year, 44 hits to right field, 53 up the middle. That's the definition of a 300 batter, and that's pretty much where Jackson's been all year. A lot of pressure here on Ryan Rayburn, however, to drive this run in, especially with Cabrera hitting behind him, because if he doesn't drive it in, Cabrera will not bat.
Well, Rayburn 309 in his last 14 games. Slowed down a little bit at the end of that series against the Yankees.
Had a day off yesterday, and he told me before the game yesterday he needed that day off. He said his body was quite sore, as you could imagine. You go from being a role player to all of a sudden in the month of June and July and August playing every day. You're going to ache.
That's pulled, and it's fair, and he'll get the run in. Down the left field line, it's extra bases. Rayburn is in with a double, and that didn't take long. The Tigers have tied it up. RBI 35 for Ryan.
Majority of the Tigers' hits last night were singles. Tonight, they've already gotten a couple of doubles. Nice, relaxed at-bat here by Rayburn. Little two-seam fastball by Tomlin down and in. And all Rayburn does is pull his hands close to his body and whistles that ball right past Nix, the third baseman.
Tigers last night were 8 for 20 with men in scoring position, and tonight they already are 1 for 1. Well, Cabrera, as you predicted, will not bat. So that's going to bring up Bosch with a couple of guys on.
That's why the base hit by Rayburn so important.
Two balls, no strikes. So another intentional walk for Miguel Cabrera. He leads the league in that category, and this will be his 21st. Closest guy to him is Robinson Cano, and he's not all that close.
Well, Cabrera does not have as much help in his lineup as Cano has. Therefore, sometimes it really doesn't do you any good to walk a guy like Cano when you've got 4 or 5 other all-stars that are hitting around him.
That's true. They just keep rolling hitters at you.
Brendan, excuse me, he had some good plate appearances last night. He saw some pitches, but when he did get the pitch to drive, he wasn't crisp with his bat speed. He didn't have that good bat speed last night.
Strike one on Bosch.
They've been working on him about plate discipline and seeing more pitches and laying off the high fastball, and he's been doing it a little bit lately, but he wasn't aggressive last night when he did have a pitch to hit.
Big swing, 0-2. Cabrera's 21 intentional walks, by the way, the most in Tigers history since they've kept that statistic, which was, I think, since the mid-50s or so. Norm Cash had the previous high of 19 the year he won the batting title, 1961. The 0-2 is outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You kind of thought maybe when going up against teams like Cleveland and Kansas City that Cabrera would get more pitches to hit because they're really not playing for anything other than wins, but Maniac did not messing with it, and I can't blame him.
And the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Cabrera tags the bag one. That's all they're going to get. Bosch is on, and the fielder's choice. 2 gone.
Slow developing play for Cabrera, and he simply slides over to touch the bag, and it looked like his feet kind of got tied up, which meant he did not want to make the throw to first. I don't think he gets Brennan anyway because Brennan can run, but it looked like also he didn't have a good handle on that baseball, so he wisely ate it.
He's going to bring up Peralta now, the former Indian. Runners at first and third. And that'll get away from the catcher, Jimenez, and Rayburn will score. Another overthrow. Bosch is going to third, and he's in there standing up.
What a great break off of third base by Ryan Rayburn. You can't get a better break on a wild pitch than he just got right there. And that's the difference in him being out and safe. It's a breaking ball down. Jimenez does not pick it cleanly. It trickles only a few feet away from him. He grabs it. Has he thrown the ball on the plate, they might have had him. But look at Rayburn. He's off as soon as that ball hits the dirt.
Wild pitch scores the run. E2 allows Bosch to go from second to third.
That is now 90 errors this year by the Cleveland Indians, and that's more than any team in the American League. 90 of them.
Wasn't it the Indians, the team when we were there that was taking infield?
Yes.
Before the game, and one of the few teams that we've ever seen take infield this year.
Right after the All-Star break.
Maniac had his young team out there fielding ground ball after ground ball. This one was a throwing error.
One ball and no strikes on Peralta. Man at third now with 2 outs. Tigers have taken the lead. Ball high.
Look for Johnny to try to drive the ball back up the middle today. He realized in last night's game he was a little bit jumpy going up against his former club. Didn't have really good plate appearances. He's trying to utilize the lower half of his body, which would allow his hands to work better. Johnny's got quick hands.
Peralta is at 235 overall, but since joining the Tigers, just 187. 5 of his 12 home runs have come in a Tigers uniform. Lifted in the air toward left center field. Crow is on the run, and he'll get there to the gap to retire the side. Tigers, however, take the lead to get a couple of runs. Indians have committed an error as well, and it's 2-1 Detroit. Bank's strength and stability since 1849. And by Comcast, call 1-800-COMCAST for TV, phone, and internet. Back here in the Motor City on a cloudy evening. It's overcast here in downtown Detroit tonight. The Tigers have grabbed a 2-1 lead in this game. Ryan Rayburn, an RBI double to chip in. Max Scherzer goes back to work. He faces Shelley Duncan, Matt Laporta, and Jason Donald.
And Rayburn in the left, probably happy today that there's some cloud coverage, which means that sun is not a problem for the left fielder, which it usually is.
Johnny Peralta handles this one, and Duncan is out. Early in the evening, boy, left field can really be tricky.
You have the left fielder with glasses on. They've got their glove up, trying to shade the sun and still trying to see the baseball.
1 out for Matt Laporta.
You saw Ryan just put up 1 out, and they still remind each other in the big leagues. I mean, Inge turns around, he puts up that 1 finger, and even though it's common sense, you kind of know it. These guys kind of take care of one another. You want to make sure everybody always knows how many outs there are.
How many times do you see guys walk off the field when there are 2 outs? They think it's the 3rd out.
You see it.
Yeah, it happens more times than you think.
You see it a lot.
Now the 1-0. 1-1 on Matt Laporta. 0 for 3 in last night's game.
Scherzer had to throw about 7-8 extra pitches in that last half inning after the air of Rhymes off the bat of Sensu Chu, but he did well getting out of it. Minimal damage.
Big wave and a miss.
That's another pitch that's really been good for him, and he's fearless with his changeup. He's not afraid to throw his changeup to right-handed batters because he's got real good fading action with it, and he doesn't make many mistakes with his changeup. But there are some right-handers that will not throw changeups to right-handed batters.
Fastball that time inside, miss. 2-2.
I will say this, you can't show it to a right-hander too often. If you go to it early, you might be a little reluctant in going to that pitch late, and that's why he's going to the slider now.
Scherzer has gone 6 straight starts of allowing 3 earned runs or less. Jason Donald waiting on deck. Max scored 6 scoreless in his last start against the Yankees. Tigers won that game 3-1. The only game they won in the Bronx. 3-2 on Laporta. Matt Laporta made his big league debut last year against these Tigers right here. In fact, his first game in the big leagues, his first at bat, was against Justin Verlander.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate that. And he struck him out.
And welcome to the big leagues.
3-2 pitch popped up middle of the infield. Peralta. 2 gone.
I like the way that Max is moving the baseball around. He crowded Laporta with some fastballs. He threw a changeup down and in. He went down and away with the slider. That's how you have success in the big leagues. You just kind of move the baseball all around the strike zone. And it helps to have good stuff.
Which he certainly does. Here's Jason Donald.
The Jason Donald.
Are there others?
No, I'm just talking about that the base hit he got on the perfect game.
Oh, I got you. Yep, he was the guy.
Yeah. They'll be asking him questions about that for the next 20 years.
That's good trivia.
Oh, it's going to be.
Yeah, and even Donald couldn't believe that was a hit. Just judging by his reaction on that night. Of course, neither could Galarraga.
Boy, was he good last night. Armando.
Here's the 1-1. Scherzer struck out 6 Yankees in his last start. He came into the start tonight with 126 strikeouts for the year. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And down goes Donald. And that is that. Second strikeout of the game for Scherzer. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented tonight by Bell Tire. Tonight in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD. It is sponsored as always by Comcast. Josh Tomlin goes back to work as we head to the bottom of the second. 2-1 in favor of Detroit. We've already had 3 errors committed in this game. 2 by the Tigers, 1 for the Indians. In Javila Kelly here in the second. And Tomlin misses away. He is 25 years old, out of Tyler, Texas. He was supposed to make his start on Tuesday night in KC, but that was pushed back. They pushed him back to tonight. And the Indians, like many teams that have good young talent, they're trying to watch the amount of innings that their young guys throw, and that's what they are doing with not only Tomlin tonight, but tomorrow night's starter as well. Genmar Gomez lifted to right field. Shin-Soo Choo is there, one gone.
I told you earlier that Tomlin was drafted in the 19th round in the 2006 draft. 580 players were drafted before him, and he doesn't fit that profile of an overpowering guy, a guy that's drafted number 1, number 2. But he really can pitch, and he has had to pitch his way to the big leagues. 14-9 last year in Double-A, which led Double-A in wins, and was having an extraordinary year this year in Triple-A. You don't have to throw 95 miles an hour to win games in the big leagues.
Alex Avila with one out. The one number I like to look at a lot with the young pitchers is their strikeout to walk ratio in the minor leagues, and this kid's was 4-1. He did not give away too many free passes in the minors.
Usually when you see a pitcher that has those types of numbers, 4-1s as far as the strikes to walks, it's a guy that has a good breaking ball, and you can exploit the weaknesses of younger minor league players. But once you get to the big leagues, you got to throw that fastball over the plate, because big league hitters don't swing at breaking balls that are out of the strike zone.
2-1 as the count on Avila.
Usually has the ability to throw an off-speed pitch and a fastball count. Those guys are golden in the minor leagues.
Popped him up. Left side of the infield for Jason Nix. Avila retired, 2 quick outs. And now Don Kelly. Kelly's best night of his career last night, a 4-hit night. And that has raised his average now to 241. He's filling in tonight for Miguel Cabrera at first base. Cabrera DHing this evening. Strike one on Kelly.
And you can tell this young man's got some really good command. Not afraid to go inside with an 85-mile-per-hour fastball. Slow breaking ball about 70 miles an hour.
Missed inside this time, 1-1. Has fouled back, 1-2 on Kelly.
Well, here's Kelly's night last night. It started in the second inning with a hit and run, and he just continued to get better. There was traffic on the base paths all night when he was coming to the batter's box, and all he did was just hit the baseball all over the baseball park, and he found lots of seams.
Kelly was batting 8th last night. The bottom of the Tigers lineup last night, 7, 8, 9 was terrific. Into center field, right at Trevor Crowe, and that is that for Detroit. So 2 innings in the books here in the Motor City on Fiesta Tigres night here. It is 2-1 Tigers. And by AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, AT&T. Rethink possible. Back here at Comerica Park as we go to the top of the third. Tigers trying to make it 2 straight over the Indians. They lead here tonight by a score of 2-1. It'll be Chris Jimenez to lead it off for the Indians. And Trevor Crowe and Asdrubal Cabrera. Jimenez checks in batting a .179. The Tigers this year are 6-1 at home against these Indians. There's a strike called, 1-1. And they lead the season series 7-6. It's been a kind of a winner take all at home in this series because the Tigers are 1-5 at Progressive Field. He looked like he held up. And it's 2-1 on Jimenez. He's catching tonight. And with the injury to Santana, their prospect, Jimenez and Marson getting some extended time now. Ooh, he banged that one off his foot. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shin. Ouch. Not good. Two and two. He's still wincing. I'm sure you did that many times in your career. Off your shin, off your foot, off your instep, whatever. It's got to be difficult to concentrate on the next pitch.
More times than I care to remember, really. And if you do hit one off your instep while your foot is planted firmly in the ground, your ankle hurts on the other side the next day.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, you can get by that night, but the next day is when it really swells up on you.
Jimenez reaching on a walk. That's the first of the night for Scherzer. Top of the order now, Trevor Crowe.
I want to see how the Indians want to play early in this game, whether they want to put on a sacrifice bunt with Crowe. You know, Jimenez is not going to steal a base, and Manny Acta also knows how tough Scherzer has been here at Comerica Park. He has not given up many runs.
Showing bunt. There's a strike.
I don't know if he was bunting for a base hit there, was Crowe, or whether he was simply sacrificing. Steve Smith, their third base coach, he's held that same job with a lot of different teams. Been in baseball for a long, long time. Smitty.
Crowe popped up his first time. And he fouls it straight back 0-2. Trevor was quite a high school player in Oregon. In fact, the high school player of the year in the state of Oregon as a senior. Went on to play his college ball at Arizona. He's behind the count here, 0-2. Leadoff walk to Chris Jimenez in the third. Way inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Scherzer, for whatever reason this year, has really struggled against teams within his division, against teams in the Central. His ERA is just a little bit under 7 when you consider how well he has pitched since coming back from the minor leagues. That's kind of surprising.
With the stuff that he has, that is surprising.
And the 1-2. Line drive, base hit, center field. Jimenez will go to second and stop there. Crowe has a single, and here come the Indians in the third with back-to-back base runners.
I don't know if Crowe was sitting on this changeup or not, but you usually don't see guys have success on changeups that are off their shoe tops. Take a look at the location of this pitch. He gets down, he recognizes, he reaches out, and he hits it like Scherzer threw it.
So 2 on, nobody out. Here is Asdrubal Cabrera.
Inge at third base is anticipating a bunt from Cabrera.
And there's your bunt down the first base line. It's going to stay fair. They thought it was going to roll foul, and it's a fair ball.
When in doubt, just pick it up and make the play. Looked like a little indecisiveness there between Avila and Scherzer, and by the time they realized who was going to pick it up, it was too late. You can't make a better bunt than the bunt made here by Cabrera, but you simply have to pick it up if you're Avila while you're running down toward first base, and you might get the out there. Wow, what a shot. That thing just wouldn't go foul.
No, it looked like it was spinning that way.
That's beautiful.
So they're loaded up, and now Shin-Soo Choo is stepping in, their number 3 hitter. He reached on the air by Rhymes in the first inning. Ball 1 from Scherzer. Choo also stole a base back in the first. 400 career with the bases loaded. One and one. Indians got an unearned run in the first inning on a couple of Tigers errors. Now they have them loaded here in the third. They have Jimenez, they have Crow, and they have Cabrera aboard. One and two on Shin-Soo Choo. What a year he had last year. Really a combination of power and speed. He hit 300, hit 20 homers, stole 21. Not really talked about a whole lot. There are his numbers from last season. Played 156 games as well.
He's a good defensive player too.
Swing and a miss, and Scherzer picks up a huge strikeout. That's his third of the game. One gone.
Great pitch there by Scherzer. The first 3 pitches to Choo were all off-speed pitches, and you could clearly see that Choo might have been sitting on one of those off-speed pitches, and he came back with 95 tailing away and kind of just threw it right by him.
So here's Travis Hafner. He of the 11 grand slams in his career.
You got to make him use the big part of the ballpark. Do not give him anything inside, which will allow him to pull the ball. Most of his power is to right field.
One ball and no strikes on Hafner. Swing and a miss. He had a big rip. 1 ball, 1 strike.
They're a little tardy on the fastball, which means that some of these guys are starting to sit on the breaking balls that Scherzer has thrown in the first couple of innings. He's thrown quite a few. If you're able to throw that fastball by Hafner, you might as well come back with that same exact pitch up around the letters to see if you can get him to swing and miss once again.
Line drive over the head of Brandon Inge. He goes the other way to knock in a run. Jimenez will score. Everybody moves up 90 feet, and we are tied.
He did throw him the fastball, and he was a little tardy on, but he didn't get it quite up in the area where the previous pitch was, and therefore Hafner able to drive in a run. Not quite up in the area where the last pitch was.
.39 RBIs this year now for Hafner. Indians have tied the game, and they're in decent shape here to try and break this tie with only 1 out. There's Jason Nix. Nix was acquired from the White Sox. And he went around there, and he has hit 10 home runs this year. 9 of them have come with the Cleveland Indians.
Nice pickup. Claimed off waivers from the White Sox.
Not bad at all. 286 with runners in scoring position.
Well, if you're Inge or Peralta, get ready for the ground ball. He will hit something in your direction.
0-2. Nick struck out back in the first. Doubled in the ball game last night. In fact, had their first hit of the game. It was a double which came off Galarraga in the 5th inning with 2 outs after Armando had retired 14 straight. Bouncing ball hit to the shortstop. Peralta to second one. Relay. Got him. Nice play by Kelly. Nice call. A 6-4-3 double play.
Thank you.
Inning over. They tie it up, though. 2-2. Text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number to 37338 or FSDET. And we'll bring you the final results post-game during Tigers Live. Tied up at 2 now as we go to the bottom of the third. The Tigers have the leadoff man up there. Austin Jackson, then Will Rhymes and Ryan Rayburn. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Tribe. Tigers 2 runs 2 hits. Jackson looks at a strike 1 and 2. Austin had a double, scored a run that came back in the first. The 2-run Tigers first inning. We were talking earlier about how they backed up Tomlin to kind of control his innings. Of course, the Tigers have done the same, but the Indians have, as an organization, have a rule now that they don't want their pitchers to increase their innings by more than 30% from the previous year. 1-2 is fouled away, so they've actually put a number on how they want to make sure, and there's Tim Belcher, their pitching coach, that the young guys don't get overworked, so to speak.
First time I think I've heard a number put to the amount of innings that they want their young pitchers to.
Yeah, me too.
To get to.
It's off the end of the bat. Donald scoops it up, and Jackson is out, 1 away. Time to go back to the studio now. Game break time. Here's Trevor Thompson. All right, Trevor, thank you. Here it's a 2-2 ball game as Will Rhymes steps in.
The ball's been flying out of Target Field in Minnesota lately. I've watched a lot of home runs hit there in the last week. I guess when the weather warms up, it really doesn't matter how big the ballpark is or how it plays. The ball's going to fly. And it's been flying out of there with regularity.
Here are the standings in the Central. Didn't Mauer hit his first at home recently?
A couple days ago, he sure did.
Minnesota 4 games up on Chicago. Ground ball right side. Donald gets over there, and the pitcher will cover Tomlin. There are 2 outs. So after a 2-run first, Josh Tomlin now has settled in.
Take a look at this play right here. Laporta, he takes about 5 steps to his right, then realizes I can't get it, but he also can't get back to the bag. So it's a good heads-up play by the pitcher, Tomlin, who didn't waste any time getting over there. Had Tomlin hesitated for one moment, then he doesn't get there. That's one of the tougher plays for first baseman, deciding which one to go for and which one to just go to the bag on.
That's where that pitcher's fielding practice from spring training kicks in for Tomlin, who got over there quickly.
PFP.
Here's Rayburn.
They do that for about 30 minutes. Throw a bullpen, go play golf. They do. Early.
Well, maybe they put in a little bit more time than that.
Well, the weight room early first.
Right.
The weight room, then, bullpen, get a little lather.
Okay.
Lunch, golf.
Oh, my goodness. It still sounds too easy. Foul back out of play, 2-1.
That's only till game start. Then they got to put in full days.
And then golf. Yeah, the full days once the game starts.
Good lunch, too. That's kind of like your schedule on the road, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Minus the golf. And sometimes the lunch.
Well, we got to have lunch now.
Yeah. Here's the 2-1. High fly ball center field. Trevor Crowe is under it, just about in his tracks. And so Tomlin now has settled in nicely. He's retired 8 straight Tigers. We played 3 innings. Duncan, Laporta, Donald coming up.
This Monday through Wednesday. Enjoy the weekday value pack. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 soft drinks, and 4 bags of chips for only $55. Order tickets by calling 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
We just got married.
Well, congratulations. This is a nice date night here at Comerica Park.
Saturday nights.
Saturday nights.
Apparently it was more than a date night for them.
Yeah.
Shelley Duncan leads it off.
They got a lot of dates left.
Duncan, Laporta, Donald in a 2-2 ball game.
Got married today and at the ballpark tonight.
Now, can you possibly beat that?
Well, apparently he married the right lady.
Absolutely. Here's the 1-1. Ooh, almost hit him.
Then again, she could be a fan too.
Maybe she dragged him to the ballpark. You never know. Duncan is 0 for 1 with a ground ball. Popped up. Will it stay in play? Inge will give it his best shot, and he's going to get there for the out. So it stayed on the warning track. 1 gone. Here's Matt Laporta. Five hits between the two teams tonight. 3 for the Indians. Tigers have 2. Laporta is 0 for 1. what the projections are for home runs for Laporta this year. He has 7 so far this year. I know in college he was a big-time power prospect and came over in one of the big trades that was pulled off by the Indians. Came over from the Milwaukee Brewers organization. The most Laporta hit in one season in the minors was 20. And he skies this one to left field. Coming in is Rayburn. And there are 2 gone. So Laporta is 0 for 2.
Well, if he had 20 in the minors, that means he's got legitimate power potential. Sometimes you're a little worried about guys that hit lots of home runs in college with the aluminum bat, how well their power will translate into professional baseball, but I don't think they're concerned with him.
And they also got a good look at Laporta in the Cape Cod League. He played 2 seasons in the Cape Cod League.
That's a good league. You can make a name for yourself there.
No aluminum bats there.
No. And you're playing against the best players in the country. It's not a good hitters league. It is not a good hitters league.
1 ball, 1 strike on Donald.
Usually the pitching in Cape Cod is dominant.
Well, if you're judging talent in the Cape Cod League, pitching talent, do you have to temper the numbers a little bit since guys are using wooden bats?
No, not really. Not really. I don't think so. But having watched some of those games, the pitchers are dominant.
That's in the air to center. Austin Jackson is there, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. So Max Scherzer turns things around as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. We remind you, you're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Most major league players. Miguel Cabrera leading it off. He represents the country of Venezuela.
Good question tonight on Fiesta Tigres night.
You've got Cabrera, Bosch, and Peralta. There's a chopper foul down the third base line. As a matter of fact, the opposing manager tonight, Manny Acta, is a native of the Dominican Republic. And he is just one of 4 native Dominicans that have managed in the big leagues. Felipe Alou, Tony Pena, and Luis Pujols, who briefly managed here in Detroit. But only 4, that's it.
There's tons of players. The Tigers have 9 Latin American players on their roster, and the Indians have 8. So you're talking about 30% of the roster Latin American players.
1-2 on Cabrera, who was walked intentionally in the first inning.
And it's really gotten that way in the last decade, where you've seen some of your better talent come to the major leagues from Latin America. Some stars, outstanding players.
That is going to be a fair ball up against the wall. Cabrera on his way to second base. He's in with a stand-up double. Again, he goes the other way. Tomlin had retired 8 straight prior to that.
7 of Cabrera's last 8 hits have gone the opposite way. The only one that didn't go to right field was his home run to left field a few days ago at Yankee Stadium.
Miguel Cabrera safe at second base, safe and secure, New York life.
On Sunday, when we were traveling to New York, Cabrera had hit a home run to right field at U.S. Cellular Field real late in that game. And he told me on the plane he felt like he was kind of getting his swing back.
That'll go down the left field line. Let's see if it stays in play for Duncan. To the corner he goes, and he makes the catch. And Cabrera will hold.
And he was correct, because as I mentioned, every single hit that Cabrera has gotten since then pretty much has gone the other way. And that's kind of how you get back on track. You start hitting the balls the other way.
He hit, what, 4 home runs in that series against the Yanks?
He did. 3 of those home runs were to right field. He doubled last night over Chu's head, his first time up. He doubled here tonight down in that right field corner.
Two-2 game here. Tigers have the go-ahead run at second base, and that's pulled foul off the bat of Peralta. 1-1 on Johnny, who flied out back in the first inning. Peralta, native Santiago in the Dominican Republic. He was at the plate when the wild pitch was uncorked by the starter Josh Tomlin in the first inning. Tigers got both of their runs in the first and haven't scored since. Big RBI chance here for Peralta. And he taps one slowly toward the left side. Quick throw, but not in time. Cabrera played that ball as well as he could. Infield hit.
It's also a pretty good read by Miguel Cabrera, who was running from second base. He knew the ball was hit too slowly for Cabrera, the shortstop, to get him out at third base. So now he's standing at third with less than 2 outs. Good base running here by the big fella.
So still only 1 out, and here comes Brandon Inge. Tigers now have 4 hits, 2 of them in this inning. Inge flied out to right field his first time up, 0 for 1. Brandon this year has been a much better hitter at home, 304 here at Comerica Park, and he had a great night last night, a single, double, and a triple for Detroit. Trying to break a 2-2 tie here in the 4th. Tomlin's first start of the big leagues came against the Yankees, and he actually outdueled CC Sabathia in his major league debut. And has really done good work at the big league level in his first opportunity here in the majors. Gave up just 1 run in 7+ innings against the Yankees in that debut. And we'll get back out of play. Played some college ball at Texas Tech. Was actually playing junior college ball in Texas when he was drafted the first time around by San Diego, but decided to transfer to Tech instead of signing professional. He has some trouble brewing here in the 4th with only 1 out. Fouled away again. 2-2 on Inge. That kind of play one more time. 2-2 on Brandon. Max Scherzer tonight allowing 1 in the first. That was unearned, and also a run in the third. Came on an RBI hit by Hafner. Lifted in the air, right center field. Chu and Crow converge. Crow makes the catch. Runner will tag. Here comes Cabrera. He will score. Sacrifice fly and give Inch an RBI. His 47th. Tigers take the lead. Three-2 ball game.
A little slow breaking ball from Tomlin, and Inge just kind of flipped it into center field, and it's a good thing anytime you keep it away from Sin-Soo Choo and right. And Crow does not throw as well as Choo does.
So with 2 gone, Tigers have gone ahead. Here is Alex Avila. Inning started with a double by Cabrera. They're able to cash him in. Alex 0 for 1 with a pop-up. And missed inside 2-0. We're talking about Tomlin's great numbers in the minor leagues in terms of his strikeout to walk ratio. He was 51 and 24 in the minor leagues. So he won a lot of decisions. But again, not a guy that just will overwhelm you with pure electric stuff. Here's the 2-0. Driven deep to right field. It is hooking. We'll go foul. I guess he kind of fits the mold of a lot of those Minnesota Twins pitchers they bring to the big leagues every year.
Good comparison. Throws a lot of strikes, moves the ball around, doesn't beat himself with base on balls. That is a really good comparison.
And the only walk he's given up tonight was of the intentional variety to Cabrera back in the first. Here's the 2-1. High fly ball center field. Trevor Crow is under it. And the inning is over. Tigers take the lead on the sac fly by Brandon Inge. 4 in the books. It'll be Jimenez, Crow, and Cabrera coming up.
It's on field photo day at Comerica Park prior to the 105 game against the Indians. Stadium gates open at 11 a.m. All kids 14 and under receive a pause photo frame. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
That is so weak.
That's
that
wrong.
Is just a weak effort right there. Look at pause.
That's wrong.
You know, how come none of the people in the truck ever have their faces plastered on something like
they
that?
put us out front and center, boy.
Unbelievable. I was warned something funky was going to happen about the middle of this game. And, well, there it is, I guess.
Well, it is Fiesta Tigres night.
It is. 3-2 is our score. The Tigers over the Indians as we go to the 5th inning. Jimenez leads it off. And he waves and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jimenez, then Crow, and then Cabrera. Scherzer allowed an unearned run in the first. An earned run in the third, but he got a double play ball, which really thwarted what could have been a bigger inning. Ground ball foul just outside of the bag. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jimenez called up from their AAA team on July the 10th. He was playing a lot of different positions down at AAA. He was playing some first, some third, some outfield, and some catch as well. And the 1-2. Fouled off again. Walked and scored a run. He started things off in the third with a base on balls. Two balls, 2 strikes. Scherzer tonight has pretty much been right on track with what he's done post All-Star break. 2.25 ERA after the break. Trevor Crow waiting on deck. And again the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Chris Jimenez. Max trying to avoid walking the number 9 hitter for the second time tonight. Jimenez has not homered yet this year.
And Max has thrown last couple of changeups. He's kind of overthrown those 2 pitches, and therefore he's bounced them in the dirt.
Fastball ran in on the hands of Jimenez. And Avila heads out to the mound. Same 2 teams tomorrow as they wind up the series. Justin Verlander and Genmar Gomez. Day baseball here tomorrow, and then the Royals come to town. The 3-2 pitch. Another foul. Jimenez has turned out to be a tough out. 9 pitch at bats so far. And he walked him again. Second time tonight that Chris Jimenez leads off the inning with a walk. The only 2 walks that Scherzer has tonight. That'll bring up Trevor Crow.
And Rafael Belliard standing on that top step in the Tigers dugout, reminding his infielders of the fact that he might bunt. He doesn't know. But he might.
I'm just saying they might bunt. There's a strike called 0-1.
He directs the traffic. Rafael was a tremendous big league infielder. He had great hands. Really good hands.
Crow is behind in the count 0-2. Singled back in the third, 1 for 2 tonight. And the 0-2 pitch. Fought it off. Trevor's got those Joe Mauer sideburns going. I thought only Mauer wore those.
You're right. They work for Super Joe.
And again, the 0-2 pitch. And he tipped it out of the glove of Alex Avila off the mask. 0-2 the count stays. The leadoff walk to Jimenez, the number 9 hitter. Ground ball to second. This should be 2. Rhymes with a side flip for 1, and the relay is a double play. 4-6-3. Second double play turn tonight behind Scherzer.
Usually when you are as far away from the bag as Rhymes was here, you don't flip the ball the way that he flipped it, but he got enough on his throw to get it to Peralta, and Jimenez could not get to him. Usually when you're this far away, you kind of just turn and throw the ball overhand. But a really nice feed by Rhymes.
And 2 gone now for Asdrubal Cabrera. Scherzer got Nix to bounce into a double play back in the 3rd, and now Crow here in the 5th. Here's the 0-1. Fouled away, no balls, 2 strikes. Max at 86 pitches. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 93 on the fastball. Oh boy. And the side retired.
I told you I'd wear those pants.
Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. We'll break down the game, show you all the highlights. Tigers live from the Call Sam Studios immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit. What's Paul's doing? Having a chip or 2 over there?
Yeah.
Or 3 or 4? Don Kelly leads it off as we go to the bottom of the 5th. It'll be Kelly and then Jackson and then Rhymes. That's hammered to right field. That ball is up, and that ball is going to go in the Bell Tire area. Don Kelly hits another one, his 4th.
when you don't have overpowering stuff, and Tomlin would fall into that category. He's a control guy, but when you make mistakes and you hang changeups right around the belt buckle, they're fading right back into the happy zone of a hitter like Kelly. He can make you pay, and that's our Lincoln Mercury Exmo.
Meanwhile, Jackson hits the ball hard to left center field. That ball is down. It hops over the wall. It's a ground rule double. The Tigers now teeing off on Josh Tomlin.
Every time he makes a mistake in the strike zone with a hanging breaking ball, they've punished him today.
You've got to go back to 1977. Most hits, 142 by a Tigers rookie since Steve Kemp.
Outstanding rookie campaign by Action Jackson.
Kemp also had 142. But Jackson with 2 doubles tonight. Here's Will Rhymes. Tigers lead 4-2. Ball 1 to Rhymes.
And sometimes in these situations, which appear to be bunting situations for a guy like Rhymes, Jim will allow him to swing at 1 strike and then put the bunt on. Will did not offer to bunt on that very first pitch from Tomlin. But he does know that he has a job to do with a runner on second base and nobody out. He's got to get him over the third.
He pulls it in the air to right field.
It's going to be close.
Chu has a gun, and Jackson going nowhere. 1 out.
It's always fun to watch the balls go to right field, to see the reaction of Gene Lamont or the base runners, to see whether they are going to challenge him or not. Chu has 12 outfield assists from right field, and he's usually amongst the league leaders in that statistic every year that he's come to the major leagues.
Picked on number 12 last night. Here's Rayburn. Had a big RBI double back in the first. Part of a 2-run first inning for Detroit.
Well, here's that same situation that Rayburn was presented with in the very first inning. If he doesn't drive this run in, Cabrera's not going to get a chance to.
It's slowly towards second. He'll shovel it out of the glove. Nice play by Donald. You can see that play developing. Move the runner to third now with 2 outs.
Well, Cabrera might as well just throw his bat back, give it to the bat boy who's out there right now, and trot on down to first base.
They walked him intentionally in that first inning. Action in their bullpen. The right-hander Justin Germano warming up. And here comes yet another intentional walk, which is going to be his second of the game.
Not only is there pressure hitting in front of Cabrera, but there's also pressure hitting behind him these days.
The guy hitting after him today is Brennan Bosch.
Brennan looking for 1 hit to get to 100, which would give the Tigers 2 rookies with 100 or more hits. And if he's able to do that, and when he's able to do that, they will join Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker. They both really did it as rookies. Well, this is why Cabrera gets walked so often. He's in that MVP conversation along with Josh Hamilton. I think those 2 are the front runners. But you also have to give some consideration to Delman Young. And if you look at Adrian Beltre's numbers, no one's really talking about him in Boston, but he's having an outstanding year himself.
I just don't know that Young and Beltre will be, in the end, in that conversation with Hamilton and Cabrera. I really believe it's going to come down to those 2 guys.
Two-man race right now?
Yeah, I think so. But there's still a long way to go. Here's Bosch. So Cabrera now has 22 intentional walks, and we often compare him to Pujols being perhaps the best hitter in the game. Pujols has been walked intentionally 27 times.
But really think about how good Cabrera is, because he's been getting a boatload of intentional base on balls for about 3 weeks now. Every time they throw him a strike, he hits a home run or a double. Whenever they give him something to hit.
tonight. Cabrera a double and 2 intentional walks. 4-2 Tigers lead. Bosch is 0 for 2 in this game.
I quit playing softball one year because they kept walking me intentionally.
Is that right?
I sure did. I wasn't going to go out there and spend my Monday nights when I could be watching some football or something if they weren't going to let me play. I'm serious.
Now, why would you walk somebody intentionally in softball?
And they don't even. You go play defense and you go out and you run around and you try to get out. So then every time I go to the plate, the umpire would say, go down to first base. I'm saying, well, what do you mean go to first base? I came to play. I did it about 2 weeks. And I told my buddy, I see you. I'm not coming back out here.
Oh, man. Intentional walks in softball. Fouled back out of play 2-2. So you must have been a mean softball player as well.
Well, I hit a few taters.
Did you?
I hit a few.
Now, I assume this was your post-playing day.
It was. It was.
Here comes that Allen guy. Just put him on. 2-2 on Bosch. Driven to right field. Fair ball. It goes to the corner. 1 run is in. Cabrera coming to third. They stop him there, and Bosch has a double, foiling the strategy.
I talked about Bosch in last night's game. He displayed more patience in the batter's box, but when he got something to hit, he was a little passive with his swing. He was not passive here. It's a little breaking ball, and he catches it just right and hits an absolute seed down in that right field corner. That is a really good swing by Brennan.
So Jackson and Bosch become the first Tiger rookie duo with 100 hits each since the great Trammell and Whitaker way back in '78.
Well, it just kind of gives you an idea of how special the seasons have been of Jackson and Bosch this year in 2010. Anytime you get mentioned in the same breath is those two, Tram and Whitaker.
Bosch now is up to 57 RBIs. And if he can catch fire a little bit in the month of September, he could really finish with some nice numbers.
I think that youngster Stanton in Florida took over the rookie RBI lead from Bosch.
Did he?
Yes. He no longer leads all rookies in RBIs.
Back out of play, 1-1 on Peralta. Johnny had an infield single back in the fourth.
That had to feel good to Brennan. Really good, due to the circumstances.
Tomlin now has allowed 5 runs. That's the most that he has allowed in any start this year in the major leagues. Tigers have put up 7 hits. Two and 2 on Johnny Peralta. Scherzer being backed up with some offense tonight. 5 runs, 7 hits. Yanks has given up 1 earned run tonight. Base hit here by Peralta, and the Tigers can bust it open a little bit. The 2-2. Grounded foul.
Tomlin has not really had good command with his breaking ball today. Obviously very good numbers in the minors, and in his starts in the major leagues he had been good too. But today he has thrown a lot of hittable pitches, and when he has made a mistake, the Tigers have made him pay.
Three balls and 2 strikes. On deck, Brandon Inge. Here comes the 3-2. Peralta stays alive. Tomlin was leading the International League at the time of his call-up with the lowest opponent's batting average. He's second in ERA, but it's been Scherzer that's outpitched him tonight. And the Tigers offense looking for more here. 3-2 pitch. Fouled straight back again by Peralta. Tomlin was also an all-star this year, a late addition to the AAA All-Star game. It's been an 8-pitch at bat for Johnny Peralta. Fouled away.
Don't know for sure because I haven't seen Tomlin that much, but to really be successful up here, you need to have that one pitch, which is a legitimate strikeout pitch or a legitimate go-to pitch that you can get outs on, and he hasn't shown me that pitch yet here today.
Popped him up, shallow left field. Asdrubal Cabrera calling. And that is it for the Tigers. They scored 2 runs, though. The first coming in on the home run by Don Kelly. His 4th of the season. Tigers add to their lead. Question again tonight: which Latin American country has produced the most major league players? And if you guessed the Dominican Republic, you are correct. 537 players representing the Dominican Republic. 191 active players. Here is the all-time Latin-born players by country. You see the Dominican Republic and then Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Mexico.
For the longest time, teams here in the United States were building academies in Dominican Republic, and I think that's why the number is overwhelmingly more than the other countries. But now they're building them in Venezuela and some of the other places, so some of those players are starting to catch up.
Jackson with a running play, and Shin-Soo Choo is out, 1 gone. Time to go back to the studio. Time for a game break with Trevor Thompson. Wow. Talk about a long night.
Why didn't they play a day game?
I don't know. Travis Hafner. He has an RBI single back in the third.
That's a lot of baseball with a quick turnaround for a Sunday afternoon game. That would be 3 games in 24 hours.
That's tough to do. That is not easy at all. The 2-0 is rolled foul, first base side. 2 balls and 1 strike on Hafner. RBI single back in the third. We mentioned that Scherzer has not had good numbers against the Central Division, but tonight it's been a different story. Just 1 earned run. The 2-1 pitch. Hafner missed 2 weeks in early August with shoulder inflammation. Recently rejoined their lineup. Travis in his heyday was hitting 40 home runs, at least 30 to 40, knocking in 100 runs with ease. His last really big season was 07 when he had 100 RBIs.
He and David Ortiz were the most feared designated hitters in the American League.
Here's the 2-2 offering. Right back up the middle on a line and over the head of Johnny Peralta. It'll be a 1-out single. And for Scherzer, just the 4th hit that he allows tonight. Here's Jason Nix. Nix bouncing into a double play back in the third. He's also fanned, so it's not been a very good night for him offensively.
Well, Scherzer's got a chance of getting another double play with the way that Nix swings the bat. He is just pull happy, and more than likely he's going to hit something to the left side of the infield or into the outfield.
Nix has big league time as well with Colorado and the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox let him go earlier as you look at his spray chart.
Only 3 hits the opposite way. Therefore, double play candidate.
The 0-2. Also a strikeout candidate with Scherzer on the hill, and that's his 5th strikeout of the game. 2 outs. Now Shelley Duncan.
Scherzer has gotten up to 95 here tonight. He has gone as low as 79 with a changeup. That's a nice differential in speeds. Those readings courtesy of Comcast. You got to be careful with big Shelley Duncan. He's got legitimate power. Legitimate big league power.
Twice in his career in the minor leagues, he's hit 30 home runs in a year, including last season. Tried to hold up there, couldn't do it. 0-2.
It's a good opportunity for Duncan, who is the son of Dave Duncan, the outstanding pitching coach in St. Louis these days. You get some injuries, you make some trades, you open up a spot, and a kid like Duncan can get some big league at bats to show what he can do.
Dave Duncan also played for the Cleveland Indians, so father and son wearing an Indians uniform in their careers. Dave played in the early 70s, 73 and 74 for the Tribe.
It's not often that a catcher, which his dad was Dave, will end up being one of the better pitching coaches to ever hold that position in baseball, in my opinion, at least in my era.
That one missed 1 and 2.
It's usually former pitchers that are pitching coaches.
Have there been any others that you can think of?
No. I really can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of any other position players that were pitching coaches in the major leagues that had the kind of success that he had.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. So Duncan is out of there. 6 strikeouts for Scherzer. Nothing comes to the 1-out single. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning on Fiesta Tigres night here at the ballpark.
Like freeze cam, the majority of the Tigers' hits in the ball game tonight against Tomlin, the starter for the Indians, have been extra base variety. As a matter of fact, 5 doubles, a couple by Jackson, 1 by Cabby, 1 by Bosch, and 1 by Ryan Rayburn. And every time he's made a mistake in the strike zone, they have punished him. Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
And they punished him to the tune of a 5-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Comerica Park. 5 runs, 7 hits for Detroit, 2 runs, 4 hits for Cleveland. Inge leads it off and takes strike 1. Brandon, then Avila, and then Kelly. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taps slowly to the shortstop. Cabrera with a running scoop and a nice play.
Good communication there between Nix and Cabrera. You really can't tell other than watching that play. Nix took about 3 steps. He heard Cabrera say, "I got it," and he simply peeled out of the way. Take a look at this. Nix takes a couple steps. Okay, he hears now, "I got it." So he stops and he allows the shortstop to do what he does best. It's an easier play for Cabrera because he can surround that ball and get his momentum carrying him back to where he needed to throw it to, and Nix couldn't have done that.
Here's Alex Avila. Avila is 0 for 2. Has put the ball in the air twice, and he cuts and misses. Tigers pitching, by the way, has surrendered just 7 hits in 15 innings to the Indians in this game. So the Tribe offense has been slowed. The 0-1. Off his foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jim Leland, in chatting about Alex Avila before the game yesterday, said that the one area of his game defensively that has come along he thinks the most is his throwing, and I think we've seen a lot of examples of that this year. He for the most part has been very accurate. The one thing that he wants Alex to continue to do is be more aggressive offensively. He is behind in the count here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and he rolls that one foul. 7 Tigers hits in this game, including a Kelly home run. We just showed you all the doubles. Rayburn, Jackson twice, Bosch and Cabrera. So this is the most offense that Josh Tomlin has given up in his brief big league career. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. 2 outs.
It is now time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, courtesy of Donnie Kelly, who got a breaking ball that didn't break a whole lot right into his happy zone, and he hit it right off of the Bell Tire sign. Bell Tire, great sponsor.
Get the best tire price, period. There's a strike called on Don Kelly.
I think they've been with us since day one, haven't they?
Long time. Yeah, I believe so. Kelly's 4th home run was hit in his last at bat. So that makes him 5 for 6 in the series now.
Well, they're all good sponsors, I should say, before I have to mention them all.
That could take a while. The 1-1 pitch.
Don't want to shortchange anybody.
There's Phil Koch beginning to tune up in the Detroit bullpen. The 2-1. 2-2.
It's always a good sign when you see Phil Koch starting to warm up in the bullpen. That means the Tigers have got a lead, and they're trying to hold on to it.
Scherzer has thrown 104 pitches to get through 6 innings of work. The Tigers have given him a 5-2 lead. He tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Strike 3. The first 2 strikeouts of the game for Tomlin come here in the 6th inning. So we head to the 7th. Laporta, Donald, and Jimenez coming up. It's 5-2 in favor of the Tigers here as they try to take 2 straight from Cleveland in this series. And it's going to be Matt Laporta, Jason Donald, and Chris Jimenez facing Max Scherzer. Scherzer 104 pitches into this game will go out here in the 7th. And he delivers down low to Laporta. Max threw 115 in his last start. And that is the 2nd highest total he's had this year. Actually, it's the 3rd highest total. 123 is his highest. That came against Texas back in July. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Boy, he's had a nice swing and miss changeup today. Really nice.
Lifted back out of play. I mentioned Matt Laporta went to Florida. That's where he played his college ball. Had a terrific career there. His mom actually teaches at the university.
He could play no hook.
Not at all.
go to school every day.
You go away to college, you figure you can get away with it every now and then. One gone.
Let's take a look at Max Scherzer here. A little pitching 101. Not only are we going to show you the grips of these three pitches, here's the fastball, four-seam variety. It's explosive once it gets into the strike zone. Here it is. Now we're going to show you the changeup. This is how he holds it. He turns it over once the ball comes out of his hand. Real nice location. And he's got the slide piece to go along with that. There's that grip. And here's the action on that pitch as well. So fastball, changeup, slider. Good results today for Max Scherzer.
There's some good looks at all those pitches. See how they come out of the hand.
And you can see exactly which way they go in the strike zone. And that's kind of why Max has kind of taken off since he made those 2 starts down in the minor leagues.
Donald chops one foul.
When he came from the National League, what he tried to do in this league was overpower everybody with good fastballs. But the American League, they've got some good hitters. They can hit that number 1. So Scherzer kind of had to reinvent himself and go to more off-speed pitches, change-up, slider variety earlier in games, and that makes the fastball a much better pitch if they're not sitting on it all the time.
Jason Donald to strike out in a fly ball. 0 for 2. Cued the other way, but foul. Donald playing second base tonight and has since the return of Asdrubal Cabrera. When Cabrera was out with injury, they had Donald playing short. He was acquired from the Phillies in the Cliff Lee deal. Showed a little bit of power in Double-A a couple of years ago. Hit 14 home runs, but only 3 at the big league level this year.
Only time will tell. It's kind of hard to judge players that come from other organizations until they're really in the big leagues for a number of years. But when you trade away CC, you trade away Cliff Lee, you trade away a Victor Martinez, you have to believe that those players coming back in return, there's going to be an impact player or 2 in that bunch.
Well, you would think. Scherzer gets his 7th strikeout. You know, they're very high on Laporta. He was one of the big pieces in that CC deal from Milwaukee.
And here's that swing and miss changeup today that Scherzer has located beautifully at the bottom of the strike zone. And something else that I didn't point out about Scherzer, he throws all 3 of those pitches from the same arm window, which gives him the deception, which makes it tough to pick up.
Well, one guy he's not been able to get is Jimenez. He's walked him twice, and he's the number 9 hitter. And he pumps in a strike, 0-1.
I guess when you get traded for some of those players that we mentioned, Lee, Sabathia, Victor Martinez, that's pressure alone when you come to your new team because everybody's expecting you to be that blue chip prospect.
And also, another guy that has a lot of pressure on him is the general manager. If you pull off those deals, you are expected to land, as you mentioned, some premium prospects, and you really have to rely on your scouts.
The one premium prospect they did get back in return is the youngster Carlos Santana, their catcher, who is lost for the year with a knee injury, and they got him from the Dodgers in the Casey Blake deal.
1-2. Indians trying to rebuild to where they were in the mid-90s when they were an awfully good baseball team for quite a few years. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Scherzer outstanding tonight. 8 strikeouts. A 1-2-3 seventh. We go to the stretch. Jackson, Rhymes, Rayburn coming up. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by your neighborhood Spartan store. For locations, check out turntospartan.com. By Lovesa. And by your Detroit area Volkswagen dealers. Visit DetroitVWDealers.com.
Now, where was that party at?
I don't know. We weren't invited, though. Of course, we were hanging out with the band earlier in the day.
Yeah, we were.
Fiesta Tigres night here at the ballpark. Well, if Jose Valverde is credited with a save in this game, text Zoom to 37338 to enter to win a party in a Comerica Park suite, brought to you by Mazda. Well side windows pitching change. Justin Germano is in now.
Ninth game now that Germano has been in. He has not been scored upon. He's pitched 11 2/3 innings with 8 strikeouts and 4 walks, and the league is hitting a buck and some change against Germano.
Well, the Tigers have a 5-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Austin Jackson, another big night. He just continues to rack up the multiple hit nights. In fact, he's had 40 multiple hit games this year. And I'll give you one guess who has more.
The big fella.
The big fella's right. 43 for Cabrera. Jackson doubled, scored in the first, doubled, scored in the 5th. 1-2. Germano wasn't signed until real late this offseason. Signed as a minor league free agent on March the 24th. Began the season at AA, then was promoted to AAA. And then eventually to Cleveland recently on July the 30th. Rolled to third base, deep behind the bag. Nix on the backhand. Got it. Nice play by Jason Nix. 1 out.
And Nix takes a couple of steps to his right, and then he plants on that right foot, which means he's able to get his momentum coming back toward the diamond. And he takes his time, even though Jackson's running, because he knew he had to make a firm throw to get him out. And he did just that.
Here's Will Rhymes. He drops down another bunt. Germano comes off to make the play, and he throws him out.
Barely. Nice bunt by Will. Good concentration by Germano. A lot of times you'll see pitchers run over in this same type of situation, and because they see Rhymes right in their face, they know they've got to hurry. And a lot of times when you hurry, you don't complete the play, but he completed the play. Close play, too.
Half a step. Here's Ryan Rayburn with 2 outs. Rayburn had a key hit early in the game after the double by Jackson in the first. He was sacrificed to third, and then Rayburn doubled him home with a shot down the third base line. 35 RBIs now for Ryan. Rayburn in the month of August having his best month in a Tigers uniform, 288. Phil Coke continues to warm up.
Rayburn would not make any excuses, and I'm not going to make any excuses for him. But baseball is a very difficult game when you're playing twice a week. It is no coincidence that his batting average and everything else offensively has perked up since he's been playing every single game.
2-1 pitch. Bouncing ball to second. Should be an easy inning for Germano, and it is. 1-2-3 go the Tigers on 3 ground ball outs. So we go to the 8th. It's Crow, Cabrera, and Shin-Soo Choo coming up. This one, Tigers on top 5-2 as we go to the 8th inning. The Tigers have 6 extra base hits in this one, mostly singles last night, but extra bases tonight. Cabrera, 2 intentional walks. He's also doubled and scored. Max Scherzer really, really good tonight. 7 strong innings with 8 strikeouts. And there's one of the stars tonight, Miguel Cabrera, who's been on base 3 times. And now the new pitcher is Phil Koch.
He's been the MVP in that bullpen this year. I know Valverde's been sensational really all year, with the exception of stubbing his toe out of the gate the second half of the year. But Koch has been consistent all year. Look at his last 33. 4-2 with a 1.32 earned run average. And he usually pitches in the back end of the games when the game is on the line.
59th appearance now for Phil Koch.
Only Choate of the Tampa Bay Rays have been in more games than Koch. Choate, he's a specialist.
Here's Trevor Crowe, leadoff man.
Left-handed specialist, that is, and he usually comes in and faces one batter and then leaves, unlike Koch. He gets left-handers and right-handers out.
Choate, Koch, and Breslow are your top 3. Breslow of the Oakland Athletics in appearances. Swinging a tip, and the count is 0-2 on Trevor Crowe. Max Scherzer now has struck out 14 in his last 13 innings of work.
Max has been great lately. Well, really for about almost 3 months now.
Yep. Been on top of his game. Fouled away.
And he loves pitching here at Comerica Park.
Oh, 2.
Jim knows that he's got the makings of a really good rotation with Verlander and Scherzer and Porcello. Galarraga, boy, was he good last night. Bonderman has chipped in and had some nice starts this year.
Right back to the mound. Easy play for Koch. 1 gone.
And they got some young babies coming from the minor leagues as well. So you want to find the seats that are easier than ever to get on StubHub. If you can't make the game, or even if you can make it, it's the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. 1 for 3. Easy night tonight for Rick Knapp watching Scherzer pitch.
Yeah, he'll get some sleep tonight. He won't be tossing and turning.
Not much stress this evening. Second-year pitching coach with the Tigers. Here's the 1-0. Cabrera last night had his 9-game hitting streak ended. Shows bunt, lays it down, back to the mound. And Koch will throw him out. 2 gone. Cabrera trying to bunt his way on. Not well executed, though. Tough pitch to handle, and so he's gone. Shin-Soo Choo coming up. More action in the Detroit bullpen. Perry and Valverde. Choo is 0 for 3. He did reach on an error, steal a base, and score a run. His knees buckled there. 0-1. Ground ball right side. Kelly right there. He'll take it himself. And Phil Koch, an easy 1-2-3 inning with 3 ground ball outs. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Cabrera, Bosch, Peralta coming up. Tigers night here at the ballpark tonight. We thought we'd kind of break down some of the players that are wearing Tigers uniforms from the Dominican Republic and from Venezuela. You see all of the Dominicans at the top of your screen there. Santiago's on there. Valverde along with Figueroa, Peralta,
Cabrera,
Venezuela.
Guillen.
They're really well represented.
Armando, Maglio, and Gonzalez. Surrounded by water. Nice place to go visit down there. You ever taken a cruise down to the Cayman Islands or anything like that?
Not yet. No, I haven't.
Oh, you'd enjoy that.
Here it's gorgeous.
Yeah, you'd enjoy that.
So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and it is 5-2 in favor of the Tigers in this one. New pitcher on now is Joe Smith.
And Joe Smith throws from down under. He has 12 holds this year. And a pretty good earned run average, 4.73. Not a strikeout guy. Opponent's batting average, that bottom note, just a shade over 200 against Smith.
Cabrera, Bosch, Peralta. Smith replacing Germano, who replaced the starter Tomlin tonight. Tomlin went 6. Cabrera has had the bat taken out of his hands twice, walked intentionally 2 times, and he's almost hit by that pitch.
He only needs 1 pitch to hit. That's the kind of damage he has the ability to do. You walk him a couple of times, and then you try to throw him a strike, and he punishes you.
Well, Cabrera is 0 for 6 with 2 strikeouts career against Smith, and his somewhat different delivery.
He owes Smith one then.
All the way to the backstop.
And Smith reached back to get a little extra on that fastball at 91. Jimenez couldn't even get up to catch it.
2-2. Fouled away.
That's a smart pitch by Jimenez. It really is. And he'd be smart to throw that same pitch, that pitch by Smith. The call was by Jimenez, the fastball inside. And because if he hangs that breaking ball, and he's going to go with it, Cabby will crush it.
In the air to center. Trevor Crowe is there, and Cabrera is out. 1 gone in the 8th.
And heading folded out in front of that breaking ball.
Here's Bosch. He doubled in a run back in the 5th. It was his 57th RBI of this season. 1 for 3 for Brennan tonight. First pitch is a little bit in tight. 1-0. 2 teams wrap up the series tomorrow. Day baseball here. It'll be Verlander and Gomez. Chopper back up the middle. Donald Charchin gets rid of it quickly and throws it away. Bosch will try and get to second, and he will.
That should go down as a base hit and an error on the second baseman, Donald, but good hustle by Brennan Bosch and also good recognition of the bad throw. Once you get to the bag and you're running down the first baseline, you're taught. As soon as you hit the bag, you look to your right to see if the ball has gotten past the first baseman. Brennan did that. He recognized where the ball was, and he was able to get down to second base without a lot of help from Tom Brookins, the first base coach. Take a look at the head right now. He looks to the right. He sees the baseball, and then he's able to jet to second base.
Tigers trying to get another run. Peralta hits a slow roller to second. Donald charges this one as well. 2 gone. That'll advance the runner to third. So give Brendan Bosch a 2-hit game now. It's his first 2-hit game since August the 6th against the Angels.
91 errors this year by Cleveland. The most in the American League. 2-base hit. Oh, no. 2-game hit.
2-hit game.
Yeah.
Here is Inge. Each team now with 2 errors in the game. One 1-0 on Brandon. Sac fly back in the 4th. Produced a run. Tigers now have 8 hits, only 4 for the Indians tonight. This on a night after they managed only 3 hits.
Their offense came in hot, too, because they had 30 hits in the previous 2 games before they got to the Motor City against Kansas City Royals pitching. 17 one night, 13 the next.
Galarraga and Scherzer with a couple of really good starts to start this series. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Brandon. Way outside. Jimenez again had to leave his crouch on that one. He's been up, he's been wide. Smith has been a little bit all over the place here. If Inge were to reach, Avila would be next. Tigers trying to add another run here with 2 outs. And that one missed. So Inge gets a walk.
Hey fans, you can follow the Tigers on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phones with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcast. Visit Tigers.com today for all the details you need.
Brandon Inge reaching base for the 5th time in this series, the first 2 games in the series. Here's Avila. Alex 0 for 3 tonight. One ball, 1 strike. Joe Smith, the former New York Met. He was born the year the Tigers won the World Series, 1984. The 1-1 outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Brendan Bosch at 3rd base. He reached on an infield single. Inge has walked. 2-2.
Tough arm slot that Smith presents, and that's why the batting average is right around 200 against him. You're not used to guys throwing from that angle. It's tough to pick up, even tougher to hit.
The old bluff to 3rd, look to 1st. Three and 2 on Alex Avila. If he reaches, Don Kelly would get another shot. He's already homered in this game. Inside, and Avila gets the base on balls, and all of a sudden they're loaded up now for Kelly. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs. It's going to bring Tim Belcher out. Smith trying to keep this a 3-run game. Tigers wouldn't mind getting another run or 2 here. There is more action in the Detroit bullpen. Valverde is the right-hander. Schlereth is the lefty. Belcher departs, and now Kelly steps in. Don career with the bases loaded, 4 for 8. They are loaded up for him. Bosch, Inge, and Avila. Strike 1. Foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes. Don Kelly. Kelly, a rare start at first base tonight. In fact, it's rare when anybody starts at first base, except Miguel Cabrera.
You don't want to be a first baseman in the Tigers organization.
No, you don't. Some serious blockage at the big league level.
Better learn how to play a new position. One and 2.
Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's been an arduous inning here for Smith, who got the first man he faced, but then an infield hit, couple of walks. He's thrown 25 pitches. There's a fly ball to left. Should finally end the inning. Duncan is under it, and the side retired. So the Tigers leave him loaded. In the meantime, we go to the 9th inning here at Comerica Park. Hafner, Nix, and Duncan facing Valverde. Last call time now for Cleveland as we go to the top of the 9th inning. 5-2, Tigers protecting a 3-run lead. And the Indians offense tonight has only been able to garner 4 hits. That's it. They got a run in the first, a run in the third. And it's going to be Hafner, Nix, and Duncan facing the Tigers closer, Jose Valverde.
And 23 saves this year for Valverde in 24 chances. He comes in with an earned run average of 2.73, averaging over 8 strikeout an inning, and the opponent's hitting 159 against Valverde, which is third among American League relievers.
It would be nice to see him get a clean 1-2-3 inning with the struggles he's had recently.
He had one in New York, didn't he, his last time out?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But another one would be very nice as well.
And I'll take 2 of them. Here's Hafner. And Valverde's first pitch is inside, 1-0. Hafner, Nix, and Duncan. Tigers, meanwhile, managed 8 hits tonight. Hafner has an RBI, a couple of hits. Two balls, no strikes. And Hafner taking, it's a strike on the inside part of the plate. Indians have not scored since getting a run in the third. Scherzer was great tonight. Coke came on for a perfect inning. And the 2-1 in the air toward left. Rayburn coming on, one gone. Good start. Here is Jason Nix. Nix 0 for 3 tonight. Valverde is currently 8th in the American League in saves. The AL is led by Joaquim Soria and Rafael Soriano. They each have 35. For so many years, you used to see Mariano Rivera's name at the top of that list every single season, it seemed like. He's still going strong. Wave and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nix tonight 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts and a double play ball. One and 2 on Nix.
Pink sombrero.
Fiesta Tigres now.
She's blocking the view of that little kid behind her. He's trying to look to the left, trying to look to the right. I can't see, Dad.
Tell her to take the hat off. You tell her.
You see him looking from side to side.
He was goosenecking, man. Here's the 1-2, and he got him. Strike 3. Boy, what a bad night for Nix. He fans for the 3rd time tonight. 2 outs. First strikeout for Valverde.
Now that's that splitter at the top of the strike zone. Nix gave up on it, and it came down very nicely right back around the belt buckle.
So 1 more out to get. 38,000 plus to their feet right now. Looking for that final out. Shelley Duncan digs in. And he takes ball 1. Duncan 0 for 3. Strikeout, pop up, ground out. Popped him up. Should do it. Straight up. Kelly. And the Tigers make it 2 straight. The Tigers allowed just 1 hit in the last 6 innings. And they win it tonight over the Indians 5-2. An impressive start to this homestand. 2 really good wins against the Cleveland Indians. 5-2 our final score. Back with more from Comerica Park right after this.